first question.
So, sir, the first question would be, in your personal point of view, how can you see overpopulation? And do you think it is a social sickness?
Right now,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Especially in the Philippines, like based on the data, 2005, the Philippines was the 13th most populous country in the world. I mean, that's right next to the biggest countries like China and India down the line, and we are number 13th. Last year, 2009, you know what? We improved our rating. From number 13, we are now number 12 in the world. But considering the geography, I mean, land area, well, we have to admit, it's really a big burden on the part of the Philippine government because we have so many mouths to feed. And then considering we have small land area compared to big countries like China and India, yeah, it's indeed a big problem.
And sir, how does overpopulation affects our government in improving our country's economics?
Well, negatively, a lot. No? Number one, considered in among all countries in the world, I guess the Philippines is among those which really support the mass population. For example, in the United States, during the 2007-2008 financial crunch, a lot of Americans lost their homes, but the government never ever gave a single house to an American who lost his or her house. But in the Philippines, we do support our poor people. Like we offer free housing for the poor, like those formerly residents along the railroad tracks. Yeah, we gave them free housing in some areas like Montalban and some parts of Cavite and Rizal provinces. Now, another thing is public school system. I mean, right now, some schools, especially in Metro Manila, have 3 shifts, which means shortened classroom interaction between the students and the teachers because the classroom has to be used by 3 batches of students every day. So it really poses a big problem there. How can we continue the quality of education considering that the period of learning of each student has now been shortened drastically? So that's another problem. Another problem, of course, is in terms of development, and not all of us have the capacity to contribute to the national economy because we have so many Filipinos who are not able to finish college. So in that case, number one thing is those who could not contribute to the economy would now go to the government for help. So additional needed budget for the government to help people who cannot afford to support themselves. So indeed, it's a big problem.
Sir, how does government can use their power to control the birth rate?
To control the
Birth rate.
birth rate of our country. Yeah, it can supposedly. I mean, the government has a duty to do that. But of course, there are several manners of doing it. I mean, if you're talking about government, the government leaders, most of them Catholics and mostly trained in Catholic schools, like our President Noynoy, all throughout from prep to college in Ateneo. So obviously he is influenced by the Catholic teachings. Majority of our senators and our congressmen, governors, they have been trained in Catholic schools in one way or another. So the trouble is, of course, the church has to intervene because controlling the population growth has what we call moral implications, moral and also social implications, which the church has something to say. One good example here is the House bill presented by Representative Lagman concerning how to control the population by allowing the people to use artificial means of birth control. Now, if you take a look at that, the church would like to say something because the moral issue here involves the teaching of the church, like respect for human life. No? Pope Paul VI in 1968 wrote the Encyclical Humanae Vitae, and he categorically mentioned that we cannot allow the use of artificial means of birth control, abortion, and then also direct sterilization. These three things are specifically mentioned by Pope Paul VI as immoral. Now, from the point of view of the government, of course, they don't think of it from the point of view of morality. Their main object is to control the population, and whether it's moral or not, sometimes they really do not care. So when there's a clash between the government leaders and church leaders, usually problems do come up. Now, if the government will indeed push through with, reducing the population drastically, like two-child policy or China's one-child policy, I don't think a lot of leaders would approve of that. But the main problem also, from the point of view of the people, is that I think in the Philippines, majority of our masses are just not disciplined. I mean, they've been taught how to do it, how to use this type of family planning methods, which is natural from the point of view of the Catholic Church, like Billings method, or sometimes called Neus-Ogeny method, or use of calendar rhythm. That's how we call that from time to time. All these are being taught by church leaders and also by the government itself. Trouble is, despite the technique being employed by the church and the government, somehow it's not very, very effective, at least as of this moment. So maybe we need more time to eventually do something more to reduce the population.
Kuya, anong pangalan mo?
Domingo,
Ilan taon ka na?
21 years old.
Ano masasabi mo tungkol sa overpopulation na dito sa Pilipinas?
Wala.
Di ba sabi mo kanina, pinabigay ka ng magulang mo?
Oo.
Bakit?
Siguro, sobrang hirap ng buhay. Kaya nila nagawang ipamigay ako.
Ilan ba kayo magkakapatid?
7.
Pang ilan ka?
Pang 5.
Kwento mo naman sa amin, ano nangyari sa pamilya nyo?
Ang mga magulang ko is wala naman silang natapos. Di ba napakahirap ng buhay kahit dati pa. Pagka sobrang dami mong anak, di mo alam kung paano mo papakainin, kung paano mo sila pag-aaralin. Ang trabaho lang naman nila is yung mother ko naglalaba lang. Tapos yung father ko construction worker lang. Pagka walang pinagagawang building, wala din siyang trabaho. So hindi stable yung mga pinagkakakitaan ng pamilya ko.
Nakikita mo pa ba mga magulang mo ngayon? Mga pamilya mo, nakikita mo pa ba?
Oo naman, pumupunta pa naman ako sa kanila.
Pero hindi ka sa kanila lumaki?
Hindi.
Ilan taon ka nung nahiwalay ka sa kanila?
5 years old?
Tapos simula nun, hindi ka na sa kanila tumitira?
Hindi na.
Saan ka tumitira? Kanino?
Sa tita ko.